Hey everybody, welcome to Mr. Rogers' afternoon clay class. I cut this lid out of this slab cube a little bit ago, and whenever you use a sharp knife on leather hard clay to cut, it always leaves a very precarious, dangerous, sharp edge on your clay. So if I fired this piece like this, these sharp edges stay razor sharp. So that's a problem. So I don't want to make anything that can hurt anybody in the kiln. So I have to tend to these sharp edges everywhere. And it's also just kind of gross and messy, and just from the build. So I'm gonna start cleaning this up. So this is a crucial step in the build process that you don't want to skip. Otherwise, the teacher may not want to fire your pots because they're too dangerous. So I just take a damp sponge and I get my fingertips just damp, not soaking wet. And this is so easy to do. You just use the pad of your finger just to round off and blend in all those sharp edges. And if when you cut out your lid you have some yuckies, now would be the time to clean up and round off any grossness. Like in here, this little cavity can go away. And I'm gonna have to do this to both the lid and the box. All right. And it only takes a minute to clean it up and make that not sharp and make it look a lot prettier. So we can compare the top to the bottom here, and the right side to the left side-ish, sort of. So these were all tended to here, and then this is unattended, and you can see it's all jaggedy and sharp and yucky. So you can even hit it with a damp sponge a little bit. Don't get it too wet. You don't want to introduce too much moisture back into the clay. So nasty crevice right there. So I need to attend to that. And I guess I'll just use this knife here. I'm just going to compress that. And I'm going to alter this just a little bit. The lid should still fit. Just press that clay in, so I don't see any crack. If you see cracks and crevices now, they're just going to get worse, and you need to take care of them immediately. And that crevice was from a little bit from the seam and from the cut with the X-Acto knife that I did earlier today. All right, so this is the keyhole. This really grabs the lid nicely and makes the lid want to stay on. So anywhere on that where the two pieces are going to touch, you really want to clean up. And not leave any sharp edge. All right, that looks great. That looks like somebody cared about it. So much nicer. So let's compare it to the lid. You can see how jaggedy and sharp the lid is compared to the box. So now I have to tend to the box Add a tiny bit of moisture. And smooth and blend. And if you need to sacrifice a little bit of that nice texture to get a good soft edge, that's fine. It's a good trade. And at this point, I try not to touch the clay with any metal tools if I can help it. I try to use the wooden tools if I need to do any work. Now, because the lid's a lot more shallow than the box, it's fairly easy to get into these areas and clean them up. I'm gonna just dip that tool in a little bit of water to make it a little slippier. There we go, that looks a lot better. Here was my pencil line, I don't like that. Make that go away. Looks good. And again, we're 7 minutes in to cleaning up this lid and box. So it takes some time to do it right, to make it not look terrible and not be dangerous coming out of the kiln, be a weapon that can hurt somebody. And when I'm done cleaning this, I'll check for fit, and it should still fit fine. But sometimes you need to adjust it a little bit if you were too aggressive. All right. So I got a lot of excess clay. Here's an old gift card that I cut up with a scissor. This is a Wawa gift card. For the people not on the East Coast watching, Wawa is, it's like a 7-Eleven, but way nicer. And I'm just taking this gift card and using that edge to kind of scrape out all the clay that doesn't need to be there. And then once I kind of level it, I'll use the pad of my finger and that wooden knife to kind of clean everything up. So that looks a lot better. So a little bit of moisture, not too much, just to make it a little slippery. Let me clean off this sponge. This is a little bit more difficult to do in the box because the box is a little deeper. And I don't have access to the inside as easily with my fingertips and tools. So I just put a lot of moisture into this lid. I'm gonna need to let it sit for a few minutes and absorb that moisture before I test for fit. Because if I test for fit right now, because this rim, this flange they call it, is so damp, it will actually stick itself to the box part. So I need to let it kind of absorb a little bit of that moisture before I try a test fit. So I'll set that down. And now let's compare the insides of the lid versus the inside of the box. And the box is looking pretty messy and like no one cared about it in there. And the lid, well, I just spent like 2-3 minutes cleaning this up, so it looks pretty good. So now I'm going to do the same thing to this, and again, it's a little tougher to get in there. So the pad of my finger and the gift card do the trick. So I'm going to pull any excess clay out of here. Kind of use it as a scraper. And I cut it down so I could fit the tool into the space. That looks good. And I'm gonna clean this inside wall up, but I need to flatten it on the table. Now you guys can't see this, but you'll see the after. I'm just taking this scraper and scraping the holes inside. There we go, that looks better. All right, so I'm just gonna keep doing this until my brain tells me it doesn't look terrible, which should be pretty soon. Let's take my wooden knife, go over the seams again. That looks good. Don't like that. I'm gonna fix that. There we go. That looks better. That looks good. All right, clean my sponge and my hand off. I'm gonna take my gift card again. Get the clay off of it. And I'm gonna clean up this wall in here. So I'll lay it flat. And smooth it all out. That's all nice. Get the clay off of there. And then attend to this inside wall. That looks better. So this is craftsmanship. This is taking your time to go over your creation and kind of nitpick how it looks and fix all of the flaws that you can find. And some people are inherently good at this and some people are not. It can be learned, it can be taught, but some people are just naturals at it. I was not a natural. I made a lot of terrible looking pots before I made any good pots. All right, I am almost pleased with this. One last thing I want to do is just take care of this seam right here with this eraser. Got a couple pieces of clay in there that don't want to come out. There we go. All right, This has been sitting long enough that I could try for a fit. And it fits great. Looks great. All right, I'm very pleased. So in the next video, I will start adding to this box. I'll add some feet to it, set it up off the table, or a foot, maybe a knob, maybe handles, to make it more interesting. All right, thanks for watching me clean this lid and box. Have a great day.